Hey everyone, I'm Matt,
Hi, I'm Desiree.
and we're bringing you this week's Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide.
This week on the guide, we're talking about how to get started with hand change variations. Now, oftentimes as instructors, we tell you that you can use any hand hold on almost any basic, and we just encourage you to experiment with that. Problem is, new handholds feel very foreign sometimes to both leaders and followers. And so what we thought we would do is give you a little bit of choreography for some basic West Coast swing moves that you can totally lead and follow in the wild, but that utilize hand changes quite a bit. So with this choreography, leaders, you can memorize it, practice it, and get a bit more accustomed to hand changes you recognize, which will ultimately get you more comfortable at experimenting as the second step in that journey.
We are starting out with a basic sugar push from our standard handhold. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here, leaders, instead of dropping our right hand, we're keeping our right hand and we're going to drop our left, so we come to what's called dumb handhold. Then we triple it out for 5 and 6. From here, we're doing a basic reverse whip from a not so basic handhold. So we're prepping slightly to our right leaders and a little bit more to our left leaders. We drop the hands down, make contact with the follower's back, slide up to the shoulder blade throughout 3 and 4. Open the door for 5, 6, like a basic whip. It's really important for this reverse whip that I'm not really just kind of spinning Desiree and then hoping that I catch her. I really maintain contact with her the whole time. So I drop this hand down and immediately transfer my hand to her body. And that makes the transition a lot more seamless for our followers.
All the way through, this sequence looks like
1, 2, 3, and 4. Now reverse whip and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
So followers, you might be thinking the leaders are doing all that work with all of those transitions. How do I practice? Well, if you have a practice partner and you're practicing this choreography over and over, here are the spots I want you to look for to practice. The first spot is to remember that the leader sets whichever handhold we have in a West Coast swing. So it's not my job to think, hey, we start with the leader's left to follower's right. I'm going to remove my handhold and anchor away. No, instead what we want to think about is the leader has taken the hand. I'm going to continue offering that handhold until the leader decides which hand to drop. So it turns out the leaders drop the other hand, we're in this different handhold. I've allowed that to happen by remembering to allow the leader to always set the handhold. From here, the next step is to keep the free arm always available to our leader. We can't allow the leader to set the handhold if we have our arm dead at our side, behind our back, our frame is very limp. Instead, we want to create some buoyancy so the leader can pick up the free hand and make that potentially the hand that is used to lead. So we're in the middle of this reverse whip. As we go to the end, 5 and 6, the next element I'm going to use is that element that the leader used in the middle of the reverse whip to trail around the follower's core. Well, I'm going to trail down the arm of the leader in order to allow that leader to decide which handhold to use. If we start from the beginning, leader sets the hand hold. I allow that hand to drop, but keep it available to my leader so that the leader can pick it back up. And I allow the leader, in case, say he did want a two-hand hold, to pick up that other hand. In this case, he doesn't, but I allow him that option.
That was your guide. Thank you everyone for tuning in. You can check us out online at mattdavisswing.com. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter as Rising Tide Swing Dance Studio.
Bye!